Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, before we start, I gotta say this, man. Ravens Twitter has been wild. Y'all have been losing y'all minds. It's become very toxic. It's a big part of why I never partaked in Ravens Twitter. Y'all just too toxic for me. I'm not dealing with that nonsense. I'll stay right here in my corner, make my takes. I'll mess around with everyone in Ravens YouTube because, we give takes and we're very objective for the most part with what we got to put up here. And we try to see both sides. We're not wilding out here. So I'll stay on my side with Ravens YouTube where I can just chill out and do my thing instead of being part of Ravens Twitter where it's just nothing but just toxic tweets and going back and forth with each other, and it's a mess. So yeah, Ravens Twitter's been wilding. In fact, they've been wilding about the topic we're going to talk about today. So, J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, apparently, he ended up suffering another knee injury in the Giants game. And due to this, J.K. Dobbins is going to need surgery, which means he's going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Wow. That is shocking. That is very shocking. The man just got back, played, 3 games, and now he's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He needs knee surgery. That is crazy to see. Now, I've seen a lot of people try to place the blame on the team and how they chose to handle JK. You threw him out there too soon. I'm going to tell you this right now. In terms of who deserves the blame, it's J.K. Dobbins. In all honesty, it's an unfortunate situation. It sucks that this is happening. Injuries do happen. It's part of the game. And it's unfortunate that JK's got to go through this, but best of luck to him. Hopefully he's able to recover, and we can get him back at some point later on down the line in the season. He's going to be out the next 4 to 6 weeks, so hopefully we can get him back whenever we can. But if we're looking to blame somebody or point the blame at somebody here for JK getting into the game as early as he came in week 4? If there's somebody you want to point the finger to, it's J.K. Dobbins himself. I'm seeing a lot of fans saying the Ravens put him in too early. They're the ones at fault. They should have never put him in. That's just not the case. J.K. has been the one to push for him to play. This guy's been wanting to get on the field for such a long time. Are we forgetting that during the first week of training camp, this guy went up to John Harbaugh and Eric Costa and asked if he could get on the field because he just wanted to start off right off the bat, and they're the ones that restricted him until they felt he was ready to get out there and start doing those one-on-one individual drills? Are we forgetting that happened during training camp? Are we forgetting that he was the one that was pushing to play week 1? When Ian Rappaport had his whole statement about how J.K. Dobbins may end up starting on the PUP list, JK's the one that went after him and said, not only am I going to be ready, I may even play week 1. The guy's been pushing to play. You remember when week 2 came up and they were talking to J.K. Dobbins, and we were hearing how Dobbins would completely love to be able to play his first game back at the season home opener against the Dolphins because, he hadn't had an opportunity to play in front of fans because his rookie year was, the year there was no one in the stands, so he never got to be at M&T Bank Stadium where all the fans were at, and he wanted to play because of that. So he was saying that in week 2, but of course the Ravens chose to hold him off. The Ravens have been very cautious with how they've handled guys coming back from injuries. They've given them a lot of time. We saw last year with Ronnie Stanley, they threw him in week 1. That was not the way. He pretty much ends up being out for the rest of the season. This time around, they waited until Ronnie felt right, the medical staff felt right, and the team as a whole felt right. Then they put him out there, and they got him in rotation. They're slowly trying to amp it up for him, but they're not trying to put too much on him. J.K. Dobbins, when they finally felt it was time for him to go out there, they put him out there in week 4. And they've been limiting his carries, limiting his involvement, limiting his snaps because they wanted to slowly work him in there. J.K. Dobbins was also one to, kind of voice his opinions, kind of voicing his frustrations, but voice his opinion about the workload they're giving him. He was the one coming out there saying he felt that he could handle a bigger workload. He's going to do what the team says, of course. If the team believes this is what I understand what the team's doing, they want to limit my snaps and slowly work me in. I'm fine with it, cool, but I believe I can definitely handle a bigger workload. So JK is the one that was pushing early on to get into practice during training camp. He was one to push early on to play week 1, even though both those situations, the Ravens did not, listen to him. They chose to ease him in. And then when they finally got him in week 4, he was the one that was slowly trying to push for him to get more involved and more carries. He was so adamant about it that the fan base, they started to support JK and said, hey, put him in. Why are we waiting? Week 2, put him in. Week 3, we need him. Definitely, we need him. Put him in. Week 4, we got to put him in as well. We were the ones trying to push that. The fans were the ones trying to push that. They were in support of JK doing that. So no, I'm not going to put the blame on the Ravens. JK wanted this. He wanted to get in. And it's unfortunate he's going through this. But to blame the Ravens and say it's their fault for putting him in too soon when they have been so cautious with this man and they've been slowly easing him in while JK has been adamantly pushing to come in. No, I cannot point the finger at the Ravens. I gotta point the finger at J.K. Dobbins. And I understand, as a player who's missed that time, you're a competitor, you want to go out there and play. You feel healthy enough to go out there and you want to go out there. But it is the team's job to limit you. And the Ravens did the best they could to limit him. And it's unfortunate that he suffered this. It is. And I can't even lie. Me, myself, I definitely wanted J.K. Dobbins out there. He was pushing for himself to get out there, and he felt 100%. He felt healthy. We were seeing him be a full participant in a whole week of practice. So I'm thinking maybe he should go out there. But at the same time, while I was thinking that, I understood that the Ravens were being very cautious, and I appreciated that because they understood these guys are coming back from tough injuries. And J.K. Dobbins' injury was massive, so they really wanted to ease him in, and I was fine with it. Let's take this process slow and slowly work him in. When we feel that he's ready, throw him out there. I was fine with it. And that's what the Ravens did. It's unfortunate this is happening, but we cannot point the finger at the Ravens and say they're the ones to blame. You have to look at J.K. Dobbins, who was pushing this. Of course, the injury, no one's to blame for the injury specifically because it's an injury, it happens, it's sports, it's unfortunate. So no one's to blame for the injury. But for the people that are blaming the Ravens and saying they're the ones at fault because he shouldn't have been out there so early, no. You got to look at JK. He's been the one to push this. He was the one that was pushing it. If it was up to JK Dobbins, he would have started week 1 against the Jets. But the Ravens chose to wait. So no, I'm not going to sit here and say the Ravens are the ones to blame. No. You got to look at JK. I'm sorry. You got to look at JK. He's got to be the one that gets that level of blame because he was pushing. He was very adamant about getting on the field, and he was pushing and pushing and pushing to get on the field. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he suffered that injury. But no, I'm not going to point the finger at the Ravens because we've seen throughout, from the offseason, the training camp, to the preseason, to where we are in the regular season, they have been extremely cautious with handling injuries. There's a reason why you see Marcus Peters have rest days. There's a reason for that. They're pacing these guys for a reason. So I'm not going to blame the Ravens for that. And I understand we are all frustrated with this team being 3-3. And there's so many things that we're seeing wrong with the team. The lack of execution, the way the team has been disastrous in the fourth quarter, the coaching decisions. We get it. There's so many things that have been wrong with this team. There's so much issues we're dealing with right now. Not to mention, we're still not fully healthy. We're still trying to get guys back. Gus Edwards might play Sunday. He may not. We don't know. There's a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces right now, and a lot of things that the Ravens are trying to deal with. And we understand it's been frustrating watching them. I've pointed out, I've said changes need to be made. And I understand everyone else's frustration. But we cannot sit there and try to put blame on the Ravens for every unfortunate situation that happens. No. It's not their fault that JK ended up getting hurt. It's not. They paced him as much as they could. They slowly worked him in. They didn't throw him out there week 1, despite the fact that J.K. Dobbins wanted to start week 1. They didn't. They didn't give him a huge workload when they even threw him out there in the first place because they want to slowly ease him in. They did whatever they could to slowly get him back in. until he gets back to that pace that we're used to seeing with him. But it's just unfortunate that he suffered this injury and he's going to be out for the next month and a half. It's unfortunate. And again, JK, I understand him wanting to play. I understand that. In all honesty, no one really should get blamed. It's an unfortunate situation. But if you're going to point the finger at somebody, in terms of saying the reason why this is happening is because the Ravens put him out there too early, if you're using that logic and saying the Ravens should be blamed because of that, then you're just wrong. You should really be pointing the finger at J.K. Dobbins. But it is what it is. J.K., rest up, bro. Go get the surgery. Rest up. Best of luck to you. Hopefully the surgery is successful. You're able to go through that recovery process, and hopefully we can get you back out there at some point in probably towards the end of the season. It's like at some point in December, because we're heading into week 7 now. If he's going to be out for week 6, we may not see J.K. Dobbins till like week 14, week 15. So whenever we see J.K. is whenever we see J.K. Rest up, recover, get that surgery. Best of luck to you, J.K. And hopefully we'll see you out here at some point later on down the road. And, hopefully, you'll be fully ready to go at that point. It's unfortunate you're going through this, but it happens. Anyway, that's all I got to say here. I appreciate you guys, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.